am going to tell you my story. Okay. Because I created the organic coaching cycle out of my almost 10 years in coaching. This is my 9th year as a coach. And so through my work as a coach, I discovered something. And I could never have discovered it and written it out and drawn this thing without experiencing it first. And so I want to tell you about the experience of it and how that turned into this fancy little circle that you can follow. Okay. So my first year as a coach, I came out of the classroom, I moved schools, and I started as an educational technology. Well, technically my title was academic technology coordinator, but that is your instructional technology coach role. And I was so excited, friends. I was so excited to do this work. And I was so excited to step out and that excited and nervous that all of y'all feel, right? When you step into the role. And I had so many great ideas. And I was so excited about the work. And I thought we should all make all the cool technology changes. And why would you not want to do that? And all of the things. Well, it did not take at all, like even a couple months before I ran into some serious resistance. And at first, it was kind of subtle resistance and laughing me off resistance because I had all these great ideas. But then it turned into blow up in your face resistance. We had this, they wanted me to do PLC meetings where I was leading them in the technology ISTE standards and talking to teachers about the ISTE standards and how we need technology in every classroom. And I was in this PLC meeting with kind of multi-grade level groups, and this second grade teacher absolutely blew up at me, literally yelling in the middle of the meeting. And I was like, what just happened? What did I do? What did I say? What is going on? And I remember the rest of the room kind of being like, what's going on right now? But it was this overreaction to what was being said about second graders possibly using iPads in their classroom. And that threw me for a huge loop. And I just like, as most people would, and as you might have had this experience, just wanted to crawl under the table and quit. Like, y'all. Who didn't want to crawl under the table and quit? I did. Who didn't cry in their car on the way home, but just bawling? Like these situations are not fun. And so running into resistance really early was a really tough thing for me as a coach because I had so much excitement about my role. And the thing was, is as I reflected on what happened, I was so caught up in the resistance that I was missing something. And I remembered that there was this one teacher who had found me during the summer before school even started. And she had asked if she was so excited about this new idea. She wanted to flip her classroom in 5th grade. And I was like, okay, yeah, I can help you with that. But because of the way the school year has started, it got a little busy. And I was like, you know what? I remember that she asked me about that. One of the teachers wants to do something. I mean, I know that this other teacher was really upset, but there's at least one who's interested in doing something. And so I started to go and connect with her. Her name was Shannon, and she was in 5th grade. It was a 4th and 5th grade departmentalized, and she's talking to me about how she wants to do flipped classroom. And I started meeting with her, and we started coming up with a way that she was going to do this flipped classroom thing. I started showing her the technology tools she could use. We started talking about entrance tickets so that she could group kids. We started talking about how she was going to run small groups. We were talking about all the fun things. And then I realized that like this was working, and she started inviting me back. I would go check on her once a week, and then I would go into her classroom and I would see how the kids were reacting, or we would look at the way that the assignment worked and if it actually affected them the way she wanted to. I would go and watch as she led her small groups, and I would be able to be involved in her class, and we were like making progress, and she was flipping her classroom and the kids were like getting it. And it was so exciting to work with her because I was feeling like, well, goodness, somewhere I'm making progress. Like over there, those people might be mad at me. But in this classroom with this teacher, she wants me to keep coming back, and she wants me to keep helping her. And then the most amazing thing happened after that. So I was already kind of like rolling with this one teacher and felt like, oh, this is awesome. Well, this was a departmentalized team. And so these other teachers across the hall started wondering like, hey, Allison, what you doing over here? Hey, Allison, you want to come over here and see what I'm doing? And I was like, yes, of course I want to come over and see what you're doing in social studies or in English. And I started talking to the other teachers on the team and connecting with them. And then all of a sudden, I had found this group of teachers who wanted to work with me because they were interested in trying something new. And there were still teachers out there who weren't quite interested in working with me. But I had found the ones who were. And that turned into a weekly touch point with almost like 3 or 4 teachers a week because of this one little snowball that I got rolling that got moving. And this idea was working so well that I started realizing, I could go find other teachers who are interested in working with me. And it started to really grow from there. So that is actually what created this idea of the organic coaching cycle and overall the organic approach. And I'm going to talk to you tonight about how you go and find these teachers who are ready to work with you, because they are out there and they are ready. But sometimes we are just held back by the resistance or the other things that we have that we're being asked to do. And what I found is that pouring my energy into these teachers created compound effect of other people being interested in working with me too, and ultimately making changes happen at that school that really started with the work that I was doing with one teacher named Shannon, who was willing to give me a chance. So I'm going to teach you how I've taken this experience and multiplied it with many, many other teachers, and then multiplied it to create momentum in my personal coaching, and then also in the whole, in the whole growth of the school and the actual coaching culture of the school. So that is what the organic coaching cycle is all about.